Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and for those of you who do not have a makeup look, we are going to tackle that today. In this video, we are going to do a step-by-step Valentine's Day makeup look tutorial for all of my beginners who want to step out and show out. It's your Eucerin. This moisturizer keeps my face feeling so soft and moisturized the whole day. This is absolutely the only thick cream I put on my face under my makeup. So what I like to do first, not often, but sometimes I do like to brush down. And I take my favorite brow pencil that I got from Family Dollar. The brand is LA Colors. And I just fade in. I color in my brows to my liking. And then I'll brush my brows back up. Now let's do the next one. Brush them down. This way it makes it easier to see where your brow stops. And now I'll brush my brows back up. Next step after coloring my brows, I like to go in with a brow gel. The brow gel I'll be using is from e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I'll just dab a little bit on top. Our brows are completely colored and brushed in our desired look or in desired way we want it to be brushed. We are going to go ahead and highlight underneath our brows. This is what I use to highlight under my brows. You can use whichever concealer you please to use. Just want to make sure it is lighter than your skin tone, so it can give a clean look. It should look like you just got your brows done. All right, now we're gonna blend this out. Don't it look like I just got my brows done? Period. All right, now for the eyelids, we're just gonna go ahead and prime it with the same concealer. And let's blend it out. Now we're gonna set our concealer, because you guys do know wherever you put concealer, you do need to set it. So let's go ahead and set it. You can set it with any setting powder you have. I like to go in with my HD powder from e.l.f. It's a translucent powder, so it doesn't add no color to it. So this is the powder I like to use to set my eyeshadow. I mean, to set my concealer on my eyelids. I do make sure I bring the powder up to set under my brows as well. Now that we are already concealed and set our eyes, let's go ahead and start the face. We're gonna go on with a primer. The primer is the next thing you will add to your face after moisturizing.
Mommy,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, now that our face is all primed up, let's go on with our foundation. The foundation we're going to be using today is Vanessa Myrick Yummy Skin, and the shade I am is 10. So go ahead and grab your foundation brush. I'm already hitting pan, and tap into your foundation, or if it came with an applicator already, you could just apply it to your face, and we are going to blend our foundation out. You want to make sure you add a light layer first all over your face, and then if you decide that you need more coverage, then you can go ahead and add more. But you don't want to go ahead and add too much foundation all at once. Alright, now that we're done with our foundation, the next step we're going to do is our bronzer. I like to go with two different bronzers, one from Juvia's Place and the next one is from NYX. The NYX one I use to contour my nose, and this is how I contour my nose. I like to go to the top bridge of my nose on both sides. I draw a little line just to give me that button look, and then I bring it up to my brows like so. And then you would just blend it out. And then as for my Juvia's Place bronzer, I use this to bronzer the rest of my face. And then I'll use the other side of the same brush. Okay, now that we are all bronzer up, the next thing we're going to do is go in with some blush. First thing we're going to do is go in with a liquid blush. Liquid blush, you're going to place it on the top of your cheekbones. And you're going to grab your blush brush and we're going to blend it out. By patting it, not dragging it. You're going to allow it to overlap your bronzer so it can have a seamless transition. So let's do the other side. We're patting it all in the places we want it to be. And then we're going to fade it into our bronzer. Perfect. Alright, now that we are done using our blush and blending it out, we are going to go ahead and conceal. I'm going to go on with two different shades of my Too Faced concealer. The two shades I'll be using. So these are the two shades I'm going to go on with. The darkest shade I am going to apply first. These are all the areas that you apply the darker shade. Now for the lighter shade, you just apply that by your eye. The lighter shade is only going to be at the corner of your eye, like so. Now before we blend it out, we're going to go ahead and add some mist. Before blending out my concealer is this. Adding any type of spray to your concealer before blending it out makes blending out much easier and it blends well. Let's go ahead and grab a powder puff. Alright, let's blend it out. Let's first start on the top of our lip. Then we're going to work our way up our nose. And then we're going to start on our eyes. Alright, now that our concealer is all blended out, let's go ahead and set it with our Laura Mercier settings powder.
Where you coming from?
Alright, after you set your concealer, now we're going to go on top of our blush, our liquid blush, and we're going to go on top with a powder blush. Let's grab our blush brush, and we're going to go on top with a powder blush. Okay, now that we went in and added more blush to our face, we're going to go ahead and set the rest of our face. The shade that you'll be using to set the rest of your face should be a darker shade. Well, matter of fact, let me just say this. It should be a shade closer to your skin tone. So the shade of setting powder I will be using to set the rest of my face is from one size, and it's deep dark. This is what I will be using to set the rest of my face. The lighter shade setting powder is for the areas that you are brightening, and the darker shade setting powder is to set the rest of your face. So we're just gonna dab in and set. Setting your concealer and foundation, matter of fact, setting your makeup will keep your makeup to stay in place all day. So for those of you who do not want to use powder this, powder that, because they don't want to look powdery, then your makeup is going to be moving while you're on your date. Your blush is going to run down your face. You don't want that. Okay, now we're gonna go back to our eyelids, and before I start my eyelids and my eyeliner and mascara, we are going to go ahead and bake under our eyes. Therefore, if any fallout, it will fall on top of the powder and we can wipe it away. Coming! So let's go ahead and bake.
Look at make a mess again.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our eyeshadow. The first thing we're going to do is choose a color. I said this video is for the beginner makeup girlies who wants to do their face for Valentine's Day. So let's go ahead and use a red on our eyeshadow. So let's go ahead and grab a eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna go in with red. First, I'm gonna pat it on everywhere. Okay, so on top of my eye, on top of my red eyeshadow, I'm just gonna go on with a red glitter. Okay, now that we are all red out, I am gonna go in with a little bit of dark brown just to put in my corners.
Okay, Mommy, I'm putting in the blue. Okay, Mommy, I want to put it wrong.
Okay. And I'm just using the red side that I applied the red, and I'm just blending it out. And that would be it for our eyeshadow. Let's go ahead and add some mascara and eyeliner. Okay guys, off camera I went ahead and did my mascara, and add some mascara, my eyeliner, and put on some false lashes. So now let's go ahead and take off our powder under our eyes. The best way to remove the powder under your eyes after you've been baking is to go in with a finished powder. So I'm gonna grab a brush, dab into my finishing powder, and we're gonna blush this off. That way, under your eye is not so bright and ashy, because you're layering, you're dusting off that powder you used to bake with your finishing powder, and finishing powder will always leave you looking airbrush finish. So I do just like to add the rest of the powder in my highlighted areas. All right, now that's done, let's go ahead and melt our makeup down. So we're gonna melt all that powder in. While that is drying, let's go ahead and line this lip. All right, let's go ahead and line the lip. I'm gonna go in with my MAC lip liner. All right, now that we lined our lips, we're gonna go on with some red lipstick. It's Valentine's Day. That's the theme of the video. I'm gonna go on with my MAC red lipstick in the shade Red Rock. Alright y'all, this is going to be the finished look, but we're not finished yet. The last step is to always set your face so your face can be on pause the whole entire day. This is always the last step. So let's go ahead and set our face and freeze it up so it can be good all day or all night, however long you about to be out with your boo on Valentine's Day. Make sure you get one of these before that day. That way your makeup won't move. You